Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be all about new Christmas cozy mysteries that have been released this year. So all of these are holiday themed cozy mysteries, and I'm just going to go ahead and go into 17 different cozy mysteries that have come out this year. Most of these are already out. They were released like late November, but since we're approaching the Christmas holidays now, I thought this would be a great time to upload this video. So we're just going to go ahead and hop into our first one. I have 17 in total, so I'm going to try to be as succinct as possible with each of these. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. My name is Amy Marie. I do all mystery content on my channel, and if you enjoy that sort of thing, I hope you'll hit like and subscribe. And let's go and hop into the first cozy mystery. This one I am the most excited for. This is probably, I'm excited for many of these, but this one is a series that I absolutely adore, and it's called God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen by Rhys Bowen, and it's part of the Royal Spinous Mystery Series. This is number 15 in the series, and I have read the first 14 books of the series. I've read every single one besides this book, and they are incredible. Absolutely incredible. In fact, one of my favorite cozy mysteries ever is the other Christmas themed one in the series, which is called The 12 Clues of Christmas, which I would also highly recommend, even though this came out a previous year. So this book is already out for release. I will have all the links down below for you if you're interested in any of these titles. And essentially this is a historical fiction inspired cozy mystery. It's got some great elements of royalty in it if you're into that sort of thing, which I personally love. Our main character, Georgie, is a lady. She has some royal status, but she's way down the pipeline in terms of inheriting the throne, so she doesn't really have the benefits of being a royal, but she's expected to live this very proper life. And she's recently been married, and she's looking forward to spending the first Christmas with her husband. However, she gets news from her cousin's from her husband's aunt, who wants them to spend Christmas with her, and she finds out that her husband's aunt was actually a lady in waiting for the queen. So she packs up with her family, and there's a lot of fun family relationships in this book, so this will be very entertaining to see these people interact. I can't wait for it personally. So she packs them up, and then they go to the aunt's house, and she finds out through the aunt that the queen wants her to continue spying on the Prince of Wales and his mistress, who've been causing quite a stir. This is kind of a reoccurring plotline through several of the books in this series, where she's asked to look upon the royals, find some intel for the queen, which was pretty cool in my opinion. And while she's doing this, there's mysterious deaths that are happening throughout the household. There's a couple of accidental deaths. Someone is accidentally shot during a hunting encounter, and she suspects that the Prince of Wales or his mistress might actually be the real target. So she goes on this quest to figure out who did it, what happened, and to continue gathering intel for the queen, all during her first Christmas with her husband, which I'm sure is a little bit stressful and not quite what she was thinking was going to happen that Christmas season, but I can't wait. I'm currently on hold for my library with this book. I'm so excited. So again, this is by Rhys Bowen. It's part of the Royal Spinous Mystery Series, and I would highly recommend checking out the series and this book in particular. Her entire series, especially the Christmas themed ones I've read so far, have been excellent, so definitely check that out. Okay, so this next one is by an author I've never heard of before. It appears to be a standalone mystery. It's not listed on Amazon as part of a series, and it is called The Mystery of Mistletoe Motel, which, fantastic title, I love that. It's by Camille Cabrera, and basically this story follows a family-run motel. However, with her mother's passing and her dad unable to physically continue running the motel, one of his daughters, who is a promising accountant named Lacey, takes over the motel in hopes to save her family's business, and the business is doing very poorly. They're not attracting a lot of tourists. It needs a lot of updates. It's very outdated in terms of commodities and things that a lot of hotels and motels in the area have. So she works with her sister to try to get more customers in, and late one night she decides to kind of embellish the description of the motel online and discuss Victorian haunts that have been spotted at this motel, even though that might be a little bit of a fudge. But it works, and she starts bringing in a bunch of customers. However, these customers start actually experiencing kind of ghostly supernatural occurrences. Things are going missing. Different things are happening that bring up questions to the customers, and Lacey's kind of like, okay, did I invite like a haunting by embellishing, like what's happening? So that's kind of what the premise of this mystery is all about. And again, that is the Mystery of Mistletoe Motel. So our next cozy is Holly and Horror by London Evett, and this is the 17th in the Port Danby Cozy Mystery series. I love the picture here. I think it looks really cute. I love the artwork on it. I think that looks absolutely lovely. And this is number 17, so if you are looking for a new series, you know, you're gonna have to jump right into this one if you want to read the Christmas one first. But like most cozy mysteries, you can jump in at any point, which is kind of a nice part of this genre. So the main character's name is also Lacey, actually, and her and I'm assuming her boyfriend or husband, James, take off on like a winter ski vacation trip. Just, you know, fun holiday spirit, and they actually end up running into one of her friends whose husband is a detective, and while they're there they end up getting snowed in and like separated from her friend and the detective husband, and someone is murdered. And so it sounds like it's like a closed mystery where you know everyone who's on the premises, and it's kind of like trying to figure out who did it, what happened here, and she's trying to keep her and her boyfriend or husband alive while trying to figure out who did it. So I think this is really fun premise. I think the title is really cute. I'm definitely adding this series to my TBRs because it just looks really interesting to me. So let me know if you've read this series before because it sounds very interesting to me. Okay, if you are a pet lover, this next book will be right for you. It's called Dachshund Through the Snow, and this is actually the very first in a Christmas-themed cozy mystery series, which I think is incredibly fun. So if you love a holiday cozy mystery, this will be a great series for you. The series is called A Very Murder Christmas series, and again, this is book 1, so you won't be missing anything with this. And so the main character's name is Holly, which is very appropriate for this title, and she lives in a very small town in New York. And she, you know, is just settling into her life, and she is a like professional dog walker, and basically she ends up going to one of her clients' house to pick up their dachshund when she discovers that the owner has passed away under mysterious circumstances, and the story will continue to follow her hunting down the murderer. I love that there's going to be probably a lot of dogs involved in this because I'm a huge animal lover myself, and the title Dachshund Through the Snow is just adorable. It looks like there's actually already 3 books out in this series, even though this first one came out November 2021. So if you end up loving this, you're going to have a bunch more to read, and they're all holiday themed, which is perfect for this time of year. So definitely check that one out. It is by Rosie A. Point. So our next book is called Holly Jolly Murder, which super fun one. This is specifically marketed as a humorous cozy mystery, so if you tend to really like the more funny type of cozy mysteries, this will be right up your alley. It is number 6 in the Hollywood Whodunit book series, and it can be read again as a standalone. So if you haven't read any of these, you can jump right on here, or you can start from the beginning and read your way through. This book is by Brittany E. Breingard, and it basically takes place where there's like a festival called the Killer Claws Festival, and it's featuring writers, which love that pun, I think that's hilarious, and a murder mystery writer actually ends up getting murdered, which I personally love anything to do with bookish writing adventures in these cozy mysteries, so I think that's already a fun premise. And our main character, Brittany, goes on the trail trying to figure out what happened, and I guess there's also these like holiday jingles and like riddles that are left behind that she's trying to kind of look into and figure out what happened that are kind of clues to the murderer. So I think this sounds super fun. The cover is adorable. I haven't personally read this series. Let me know if you have again, but it sounds super fun, and I love anything involving like writers or books. So this will be a really fun one. And this is already out for publication, so again, everything will be linked in the description for you. Okay, so our next book is called As the Christmas Cookie Crumbles. This is part of the Food Lovers Village mystery series, and it is by Leslie Budewitz. I think I'm trying to say that correctly. I apologize if that's not quite Budewitz. And essentially this follows a girl named Erin. She has like a mercantile business that she's running, and there is someone there with her named Marilee who has kind of a interesting past. There's like a little bit of spottiness to it. Some people in town maybe feel a little uneasy around her because of some of her past actions, and when things start happening at the mercantile place. Things are going missing, and her boss immediately points the finger at Marilee, which Aaron suspects is incorrect, and Marilee ends up disappearing, and there's just a bunch of different, what happened to Marilee, where is she on the run, did she actually do this theft, and that's kind of what the mystery begins with. So I think this sounds really fun. I love the title, As the Christmas Cookie Crumbles. How fun is that? And this is book 5 out of 6 books in this series, so it's not too far into the series. It is already out for publication, so definitely check that one out. Alright, so for those of you that like more historical cozy mysteries like myself, this one will be right up your alley. It's called The Case of the Christmas Angel, and it takes place in the 1930s, and it's part of the Jack and Frances mystery series. And this book is by Carmen Radtke. And so as you can tell by the cover here, it is very like theater themed. This one is lights, camera, action. And it's kind of interesting because the main characters normally are Jack and Frances. However, they're actually off on their honeymoon in this one. So one of their uncles is actually the one on the case for this, because different things start going on at the theater. There's a, ends up being like a murder. There's just different things, and he's trying to protect some of his family members. So I'm kind of intrigued. I've never actually read a cozy where it completely goes to like another character's point of view within the series. So I thought that was really interesting, and this again is in the 1930s, so if you love a historical fiction cozy mystery, check this one out. I think this one sounds really fun. Our next one is It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder by Maria DiRico. This is number 3 in the Catering Hall mystery series, so it's not too far in if you want to catch up with the previous books if you enjoy reading them in order. So Mia, who runs the catering business, she's super busy right now. There's like a sweet 16 birthday party, there's Christmas parties. She's just, knee deep in a lot of catering projects right now because it's a busy season for her. And her lifelong friend James ends up kind of coming out with some interesting news. There's just some different things that she's finding out about him. And as she's going along, James and one of his friends are kind of getting into mischief, and a murdered body ends up at the elves' workshop, which is I think one of the places that she's catering at. So she's on the case trying to figure out what happened, trying to save the fun of Christmas and keep up with her catering business. I think this one sounds fun. If you are a if you are someone who loves a food cozy mystery like myself, this one would be a good choice for you. And again, this is by Maria DiRico, and it's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Murder, which adorable title. I love all the puns for these. So this next one is Miss Jeffries and the Midwinter Murders. It's part of the Miss Jeffries mystery series, and it's book 40. So if you end up loving this book, you will have plenty of reading material to go back to if you end up liking the series. Book 40, I mean, I can't even imagine writing a 40-book series. That's incredible. So great job to the author. And for the author's name is actually Emily Brightwell, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. This is a Victorian mystery. So again, if you like more historical, cozy mystery, this will be right up your alley. And essentially, someone in her town named Harriet, I guess Harriet's younger siblings had died in kind of silly ways is what the description calls. I don't know if they had accidents. I don't know if they were just kind of risk takers and took too many risks and ended up dying young because of that. I'm not sure exactly. It doesn't really go into that in the summary. But she's determined to outlive her siblings and to, kind of avoid some of their mistakes. However, one day she's found strangled within her home. So Miss Jeffries and Inspector Witherspoon are on the case a week before Christmas, which so stressful. I feel so terrible for our law enforcement who have a lot of times I think around the holidays more cases and things end up happening, so that I just can't imagine how stressful that would be. But Miss Jeffries and Inspector Witherspoon are on the case trying to figure out what happened to Harriet, who had vendettas against her, all the usual things, and they're just on the case for a classic, fun historical fiction whodunit mystery. Again, this is book 40, so if you end up loving the series, you have plenty of reading material, so go ahead and check that one out. Alright, this next one I am especially excited for because this is part of a series I recently started reading and I've been loving. It's part of the Breadshop Mystery series, and it's by Winnie Archer, and this is called A Murder You'll Regret. I love the cover. I think it's super cute, and this series follows a freelance photographer named Ivy who is living in a small town where she grew up, and She's recently scored a big gig where she is photographing like a film star, and so this is a really big deal to Ivy, who's just started her freelance photography business. She's going to be filming Alicia Fox, who is a huge actress, and this is her big break. She's very excited. They're putting on a production of The Christmas Carol, and there is a tabloid journalist who's been kind of hanging around that nobody likes. He's got a lot of enemies, and unfortunately he's found dead. So Ivy has to go on the case, figure out who done it, to try to save this gig and find out what happened to this poor man. And the suspect list for him is a mile long because he had a lot of enemies with his tabloid writing, and it just sounds like a super fantastic mystery. I can't wait to read this. It is book 7 out of the Bread Shop Mystery Murders, and again, I can't recommend this series enough. I'm on book 2 right now, and it's excellent. The writing is beautiful, the characters are well fleshed out, there's a lot of strong female relationships that I just love, and they really warm my heart. So I would definitely recommend, if you haven't, even if this book doesn't interest you, if some of the others in the series do, check it out because it's very fun mystery series. Alright, our next one is Christmas Candy Corpse by Rosemary Ross, and this is part of the Courtney Archer mystery series. And I love the premise for this one because essentially Courtney Archer is a baker, and she's competing in a baking contest with like 6 total bakers, and one of the judges, Shannon, is really well respected, and just, you know, she's going about the baking competition when one of Shannon's assistants are found strangled, and all eyes are on Shannon because they had some sort of falling out or there was some tension behind them. So now Courtney is on the case trying to figure out what happened and trying to clear Shannon's name because she doesn't think Shannon actually did it. I personally love any cozy mystery that has like kind of a competition element to it, so this one sounds really fun. And again, if you love a food themed cozy mystery, this will be right up your alley. So this next book is a part of a Christmas cozy mystery series, so every book in the series is Christmas themed. This is book 3, so you're not too far behind, and it's called Slashing Through the Snow, and it's part of the Christmas Tree Farm mystery series, which just sounds so much fun. I love the idea of a Christmas tree farm. I think that's a really creative cozy mystery premise. And this book is written by Jacqueline Frost, and the main character is Holly White, and she's working on the Christmas tree farm with her family, and they recently started a bed and breakfast to kind of bring in more business year-round and just to kind of support the Christmas tree farm more. And essentially this lady named Karen, who is a very well-known, infamous bed and breakfast critic, she ends up checking into the hotel, and everyone's kind of on edge because they're like, oh no, is she going to, you know, really bring down our bed and breakfast, that she's going to ruin our business? And essentially her body ends up being found in a wrapped box when Holly and some of her friends are wrapping boxes for this like charity toy giveaway, and they end up finding Karen's body, which points a lot of suspicion on Holly and like other, you know, people who've disgruntled bed and breakfast owners and different people in Karen's past who she's like wronged, etc. So this one sounds really fun. I love that it's a completely Christmas themed series, so if you love Christmas themed cozies, definitely check out the Christmas Tree Mystery series. I think it sounds really fun, and again, it's by Jacqueline Frost. Alright, so we're slowing down here. Our last one is Have a Holly Haunted Christmas, and this is part of the Kitchen Witch mystery series by Lynn Cahoon, and this is 2.5 in the series, so I believe it's like a novella that's kind of taking place between 2 of the main series books. And the main character is Mia Malone, and she's working to promote her cooking and catering business, but she starts, as the name suggests, this is a supernatural mystery, so she starts experiencing ghostly visits, and she finds out that the ghost name is Dorothy, who's actually murdered, and that's how she ended up dying, and Dorothy wants her to figure out who the murderer was and to kind of avenge her death. So Mia goes on this quest trying to figure out what happened to Dorothy and to kind of figure out and like put her spirit at ease. So if you love a supernatural cozy mystery, check this one out. Again, it's by Lynn Cahoon, and it's like a shorter novella book series because it's kind of taking place in between several of the main ones, so you wouldn't be missing too much since it's only 2.5 in the series. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to hit like and subscribe for more content soon. I do mystery videos every single week. If you love mystery content, this is the channel for you. I talk about tons of cozy mysteries, classic mysteries, everything mystery related. So if you enjoy mysteries like me, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and please leave me a comment down below. What are your favorite Christmas mysteries that you've read in the past? I'm always looking for recommendations. In fact, an upcoming video will be all about previous releases that aren't new that are favorite Christmas mysteries of mine that I would highly recommend. So stay tuned for that one, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!